Beaver certified program protecting your used car for 7 years or 100,000 miles. That's right, certified Hondas, Fords, Nissans, and any other make you consider now come with the peace of mind you deserve. Shop worry-free at Beaver Toyota in St. Augustine or Beaver Chevrolet in Jacksonville.
Rick Ballou for Carlson Dental. You know, I've been telling you this for quite some time because it's true. I hate going to the dentist, or at least I used to hate going to the dentist. I had total anxiety, and then I tried sedation, light sedation for cleaning and deep sedation as well for cavities and root canals. Folks, it's an incredible experience. So don't be nervous. Don't be scared. Go to carlsondentalgroup.com. That's carlsondentalgroup.com for all of your dental needs.
Starting April 26th, the annual Jacksonville RV Stadium Show is back with the Duval Draft Night Experience. This is the place for the largest selection of new and used RVs, and we'll even buy yours. Factory reps will be on site for this 5-day-only factory-authorized RV sale. And you have the chance to win Jaguars season tickets, signed merch, and a free RV rental. The Jacksonville RV Stadium Show from April 26th to the 30th. Sponsored by Travel Camp RV, official RV dealer of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Hey guys, Hicken here. It's hot now and it ain't getting any cooler unless you stay cooler with Bueller. Bueller Air is still locally owned and still treating their growing customer base like they're part of the family. Go ahead and Google them yourself, Bueller Air. You won't find better rated air conditioning company in town. I use them, so I already know. I love them. Like I said, it's getting hotter than ever outside, so stay cooler with Bueller.
Bueller Air, stay cooler with Bueller.
E.T. here, and y'all know how much I like my brown water, but I ain't gonna lie, it gives me headaches sometimes. So my alternative is Brackish Vodka. This gluten-free alternative to Tito's is 100% local, and all monies stays right here in Duval. Not only does Brackish Vodka make you feel good, but when you support Brackish Vodka, you're also helping local charities. Try it side by side with your favorite vodka, and you will taste and smell how natural Brackish Vodka really is. And when you do, remember who sent you. Come on, somebody.
There's a new butcher in town. We're talking a vacuum marinating, sausage grinding, take and bake siding, value pricing, full service butcher. And our name is Southern Steer.
Now open in Ortega. For tasty tips and juicy breasts, choose Southern Steer Butcher.
WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Does your home or building need painting? For over 20 years, Performance Painting has had the privilege of preserving many of Jacksonville's most prominent buildings. That said, we feel like we're just getting started. I'm Jason Parker, and our team thrives on preparing, protecting, and preserving the homes, businesses, and public buildings that make up our local landscape. Contact us today to put our years of experience to work for you. Performance Painting, prepare, protect, preserve.
Performance Painting.
Mike Dempsey here for Dandy Foods, and happy to report that Dandy has some brand new goodies, and they're only available at select Gate stores around town. 5 delicious new breakfast items to start your day off right. Fresh buttermilk biscuits, flaky croissants, French toast, maple waffles, all matched up with country sausage, ham, or bacon, fried eggs, and cheddar cheese. Breakfast is the most important meal of the day, so go out and make yours a dandy just a little bit earlier tomorrow.
Got that hometown flavor creeping up on you, yeah.
David here with Royal Pest Services. That grass is waking up from its winter nap. Royal is close to applying products that help bring it out of that dormancy. Our granular aeration allows treatment to get to the root system. Visit RoyalPestServices.com to schedule a free estimate. It's grow time!
Hey Jacksonville, this is Crystal, COO with Remedy Staffing. As employers, labor trends continue to keep us guessing. Is the job market strong? And what is worker availability going to look like? Well, February's BLS job report indicated that we have a hot job market and that Jacksonville's unemployment rate is 2.5%, 1% lower than our national average. So if you're interested in workforce solutions and how our team can help you, please call or text me at 904-329-9802.
What's the Anajar Levine difference? When you're injured in a car crash, we focus on your case so you can focus on the one thing that matters most. Getting better. I'm Glenn Levine with Anajar Levine. We'll fight to get you the maximum compensation you deserve. Call our legal team right now for a free consultation. 1-800-747-FREE. We'll help you take back control of your life. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
Main office, Jacksonville. Men suffering from erectile dysfunction or PE, regardless of age or past medical history, you'll see instant results on your first visit at Prime Men's Medical Center. And for unlimited time, your consultation and first treatment are totally free. Call now 904-664-8217.
This is your Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update. I'm Andrew Gibson for 1010XL. The historic season for JU third baseman Chris Armstrong continues. Chris hit his 20th home run of the season on Saturday night. Armstrong now tied for second in the nation in home runs. And he's also second all-time in JU history for home runs in a single season. And congratulations to UNF men's golfer Nick Gabrelchek today, earning ASUN Golfer of the Year for a third consecutive season. That's the first time it's ever happened in the ASUN Conference. Nick Gabrelchek from UNF, the men's golfer, wins the ASUN Golfer of the Year for the third consecutive year. The Jets and Packers have agreed to compensation on a trade for Aaron Rodgers for multiple draft picks. 72 degrees at 6:01. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air Conditioning. Stay cooler with Bueller.
This 1010XL 92.5 FM hour is powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
All right, so here we are, and this week is going to be a good one. I don't think there's any question about it. Honestly, I thought all of the festivities and all of the chaos or controlled chaos, no matter which way you look at it, would all be on Thursday, but It has begun today, and it did so a couple of hours ago. If you're just getting out of work, you have not heard. Aaron Rodgers to the Jets. He's been linked there for months, but, it's like, come on, let's get it done. Let's put the package together, and let's take it from there. So this happens. Now you've got the latest on Lamar Jackson. You've got the latest on Ryan Tannehill. You've got other situations in Tennessee as well where, they just don't appear to know what they're going to do overall right now at quarterback. That includes Malik Willis, where reportedly they are down on him. What's going on in San Francisco? I mean, you just go on and on and on, and there continuously, remains quarterback issues. However, that is not the case right here. I threw this out a couple of months ago, and I kind of thought that we would have some sort of idea, okay? But honestly, look at the AFC South and the starting quarterbacks week one in September of the 2023 season. Good luck figuring out who's going to be under center in Houston, Indianapolis, and Tennessee. It is just out of this world. And the second half of all of what has gone on really happened over the weekend with all of a sudden now Will Levis exploding to number 2 overall as far as the draft odds. And they're pretty impressive draft odds. I mean, minus 140 to the dollar. Case in point, if you wanted to take Will Levis, go in second overall, whether it's to Houston or any team that trades up, you'd have to lay down $140 to win 100. Last week at this time, it was Will Anderson. We know the very talented defensive lineman out of Alabama. That is no longer the case. So I think it's a great reminder, and this is where we are every year when it comes to the NFL draft. There is so much panic about either A, getting your guy, or it almost feels as though it becomes not letting a guy you could have had go to another team and all of a sudden have major success. Because all you have to do is look at the New York Jets. Okay? 2 years ago, man, or I guess it's 3 years ago now. 3 years ago this week, but 2 years of play. They thought they had their man in Zach Wilson. And that is exactly what this is all about. We don't know. And it's an educated guess at best, but it's so difficult to figure out which one of these quarterbacks is really going to be a difference maker. Is it going to be C.J. Stroud? All this talk now about how he has no ability based on that latest S2 exam to process and decision making. I mean, he scored 18%. 18%. You look at Bryce Young, he was 93 of 99, reportedly. Will Levis, 93 of 99. Actually, Young was 95 out of 99. 18% for C.J. Stroud. Now, I mean, did he blow it off? Did he not study? Did he not really pay any attention to it? Was he told just how important this is? It feels like this week has been really interesting early on. It even came out over the weekend where all of a sudden they dug up, last June where C.J. Stroud was supposed to be a part of the prestigious Manning passing camp where he was going to be a counselor and a leader by example for the youngers. And that's first family stuff. How dare you blow off the Mannings, okay? You can blow off the President of the United States if you don't feel like going there to pick up your ring. But we're talking about the first family. We're talking about Archie, and we're talking about Peyton, and we're talking about who the hell am I forgetting? The guy who beat the Patriots a couple of times. I'm just kidding. Eli Manning.
Cooper.
Yes, Coop. I mean, you can't do that. All right? And he did. C.J. Stroud blew off the Mannings. So, that in itself is out of this world. But this is what happens all the time. It's that last-minute panic that really registers around the NFL. And everything in this league is about winning and winning now. And you and I both understand that if you do not have a great quarterback, you are not going to get it done in this league. So if you look at it historically speaking, one of the four has a chance, right? Anthony Richardson, C.J. Stroud, Bryce Young, Will Levis. Okay? All you have to do is look through recent drafts. All right, they got it right a few years ago. They certainly did with Joe Burrow, and they certainly did with, we saw the mammoth deal that Hurts got, and we know that Herbert is coming up, and obviously next March, all the rage around here and everything leading up to it will be, what about Trevor Lawrence? But look at all the first-round misses that teams have had. As a matter of fact, with Aaron Rodgers now going to the AFC East, all right, we just spent a minute on Zach Wilson. He's gone, right? I mean, maybe you keep him around, but certainly he's the backup. You look at what's going on in Miami, all right? Tua considered retiring. You still have these Tom Brady rumors. Brady did a, motivational speak or had a speech last week and was asked about Miami and said he has friends in Miami. Remember, everything with Tom Brady has officially now run out in Tampa Bay. And yes, he did file his retirement papers, but that's just a formality. You can get out of that very easily, but there's no more compensation involved. Let's say he wanted to return. It's not like Miami or San Francisco or any other team would have to turn around and pay whatever it could be to get Tom Brady out of Tampa. He is no longer property of the Buccaneers. Obviously, Josh Allen, very talented in Buffalo, but all of a sudden there feels like there's problems there, right? You're hearing a little bit of this and you're hearing a little bit of that, including Stephon Diggs. And, all of a sudden people, what is really going on? So that division itself is truly intriguing. And then you get to the division right here, and it is a nightmare. I mean, this is such an opportunity for Jacksonville to get far and ahead of the other three teams. And I would love it if these three rookies went. Okay, I'm going to take my chances this year anyway, home and away. But for the reason that I just identified, it feels like all of these quarterbacks this year are really flawed. And there's so much interest because teams need quarterbacks. I hate anonymous sources, but I was reading about it earlier today with Albert Breer, who we get on our program quite a bit. Haven't in a little while, but we will. He is from Sports Illustrated, and he sat down with a general manager who said, and I quote, and this was in the article in today's Sports Illustrated, that this year's draft class sucks. Point blank, sucks. There's not a can't-miss prospect in this draft. When's the last time we've heard that? Okay? There's not one in this draft. And if you have 15 first-round grades, you're soft. That according to this general manager, and again, it was anonymous, that there's no way even close to being 15 first-round grades with all of the prospects who will be available beginning on Thursday night. So what does that mean? Well, I expect a ton of movement. I expect a ton of trades. And if you want to move out or if you want to do something, this isn't the NBA, but I do wonder. The Dalvin Cooks, the Derrick Henrys, the Buda Bakers, the players along those lines could all of a sudden, if you are a team that is willing to trade up or trade down, what is the cost going to be? For instance, a team that is in salary cap hell may want to move one of their expensive aging football players. A team that has the ability to add a player like Jacksonville, which is still around $14 million. Now, they're going to need probably, I think it's around 3.5, maybe 4, to sign their class and the way that they're going to be able to do it. I'm told with signing bonuses that it's not going to be the 7.5 or 8 million that some people have discussed months ago or weeks ago. That, again, being creative, there's a way to get ahead of that. The point I'm trying to make is Jacksonville could make a trade, whether they move up from 24 or move down from 24. And, it's kind of looking at it like this. There's certain teams that pay to be on the radio. There are certain radio stations who pay the team hefty money to cover them. Does that make any sense? There are some schools, some teams who will pay to have their games broadcasted on a station. There are other cases where that same radio station will pay an ample amount of money to that particular franchise just so they can run their games. That's the way this draft is. You look at a great player like that with Dalvin Cook, the only way you're going to move Dalvin Cook is a sign and trade. His $10.4 million contract does not become fully guaranteed until the season begins. He picked up $2 million in March. That's it. Minnesota doesn't want to trade him the player. They want to trade him the contract. So thinking would be, all right, if you packaged him, in a Minnesota trade, Minnesota's at 23, Jacksonville's at 24, so that it probably wouldn't come into play there. But what if it involved, a second-round pick? Typically, it would take that to get a guy of his particular skill. No longer it does. It becomes, are you willing to pick up his contract? Okay, because it's going to be a sign and trade. So I really think we're going to see a lot of pretty cool things coming up here on Thursday night. The history of Trent Baalke tells us that, yeah, he likes to trade, but he likes to trade up. This year for me, this is an absolute year where this is when you should want to trade down. All right? But if you only have 15 or lower quality first-round picks, all of a sudden the 24th pick in the first round isn't that attractive. In a lot of rankings and a lot of eyes, that is already a second-round pick. So it is going to be intriguing. Remember last year, Trent Baalke moved up from 33, first pick in the second round, moved up to get Devin Lloyd, right, 27th selection in the first round. It cost Jacksonville that second-round pick, first pick in the second round, number 33. They also had to give up a fourth-rounder and a sixth-rounder. Those were picks 106 and 180. I have no problem with that. If you thought you were getting a difference maker. Now, the jury's out, obviously. The jury is way, way out. But you gave up 3 to get 1, only to move up, 7 spots. We'll see what ends up happening. Also in 2001, and that was during all the carnage of Urban Meyer and his filthy lies, Jacksonville received the 154th overall pick, fifth rounder, which they used to select Snoop Connor. And also in a trade, they moved with the Eagles, gave up their 188th overall pick, a sixth rounder, and the 198th pick, which was a sixth rounder as well. So those are the moves that Jacksonville did make, I should say last year, back during the carnage in 2021 of Urban Meyer. The Jaguars received the 121st overall selection, which was in the fourth round, and the 209th overall selection in the sixth round. And they picked up Jordan Smith, who I don't think I've ever seen. Kidding. I have. But he's been MIA since he arrived. And how can we forget wide receiver Jalen Camp? The Rams received the 130th overall pick, which is a fourth-round selection, which was number 170 as well. So some moves made there by Jacksonville, moving players for picks and moving picks, not necessarily for players, but to select players. So there isn't a great history. What I can tell you is that Trent Baalke's made 2 trades in 2 years. Now, he's made other deals before the draft, like Gardner Minshew, and there's a few others that'll come across here in just a little bit that have escaped me for the moment. But the history does tell us that it's anything but a perfect science. Jacksonville feels they're close. Do you move out of 24 to give yourself more capital? Well, you only do that if one of the 2 or 3 guys that he said they very much believe they can get is there, then you stay. And you stay true to the board and you make your pick. If not, you try to get out of there. But I just have a feeling that there's going to be so many other teams this year that are looking to trade down as opposed to turning things around and trading up. We'll see. 5 teams don't have a first-round pick, right? We're aware of that. Hell, the Rams haven't had one since 2017, which is just mind-boggling. Miami had to forfeit theirs. 49ers, Denver, along with Cleveland, do not have a first-round pick as well. Remember, only 31 selections in the first round of this year's draft because of what did occur there with the Miami Dolphins. All right, we got plenty to do tonight. We're going to be busy. This is just incredible to get the week started with this news breaking the way that it did. Really not a surprise. And I also want to say this. I think it's really a fair trade. Typically, no matter what the trade is, you feel like one side really comes out ahead. You know, if you look at it, you switch 2 spots for Rodgers. You switch 2 spots, 15 and 13 in the first round. And then you switch a spot in the 5th and the 6th. It's 170 to 207. Okay, so that's relatively the same. Really, the big news is the 42nd overall pick that the Jets do send to the Packers. So, you know, that's a top 10 pick in the second round, 42nd overall, which now goes to Green Bay. And then the big what-if scenario, which every Jet fan is going to want to have happen because that means Aaron Rodgers played and he played well. But it's a second-round pick in 2024, which does become a first-round pick in 2024 if Aaron Rodgers takes part of 65% or more of the offensive plays. So yeah, I think it's actually a pretty fair deal. And that's what had been rumored for the most part anyway. Not sure why it took as long as it did, but that's that. So that'll be out of the way, but much more to come as far as trade rumors and everything else along those lines right here beginning on Thursday night. All right, great opportunity for you to get in. Let's come back, talk more about this and what's going on with Will Levis and who the heck's going to pick him at number 2. All of a sudden, this gambling on the draft has become somewhat of a, I don't want to call it a new idea, but it really is. I mean, I've been following the draft forever. I miss the days of the first 3 rounds on Saturday and those great draft parties, but it just really feels like now projecting where these players are going to go in the draft is like a whole new way of gaming. And I'm someone who follows this stuff religiously. I know it has not I understand that it's been around for a while, but it just seems like this year it is far more popular than it's ever been. at least in my opinion. All right, opening comments brought to you by Shmunez Vision right here in Jacksonville. Catherine Shmunez is Dr. Catherine Shmunez, fellowship trained in cornea and cataract surgery, all refractive surgery. Combined, that's 30 years plus in laser eye surgery. It's as simple as this. No matter what it is that is going on with your eyes, you need to take care of them. And it's too often that I believe that they are neglected. Simply, contacts, readers, glasses, normal eye exam. That's part of what they do. Sure. And you can make an appointment at 299-2906. But what if it's much worse than that? What if it's much more concerning than that? What if your vision's just going on you? What if you think you have cataract? All right? Doesn't mean you need cataract surgery. You need to get it looked at. They are medically the best around, surgically the best around. They did surgery on my right eye more than 8 years ago. I just went in for a normal exam, okay? Just a normal day. And I went, and he's like, we have got to operate immediately on your eye. And this was over 8 years ago. I went in, thankfully, as always, the great company I work for here was like, hey, take all the time you need. As a matter of fact, take an extra week. Go. Kidding. But they just told me to get out of here and go get it taken care of. And it happened. He went in, he went out, he got it, he removed it. There's never been any issues. So I think we overlook it. Oftentimes, it can be too late, and it can be incredibly problematic. So get everything that you need to know. Best advice for you is just to go to shmunezvision.com and check everything out. Again, that's shmunezvision.com, or set up an appointment today, 299-2906. The incomparable J.J. LaSalva, who's so young, the eyes are not yet an issue.
No, just my hearing so far. Eyes are next. So luckily we have Shmunez here to help.
Yeah. Are we on YouTube tonight?
We are.
All we
you
really?
Have to do, if you are having trouble seeing, you can make the screen very big. 1010XL's YouTube channel. We're the first ones. We're the first video. We're the only live video. And share us with your friends. Give us a like.
How about that? We love you, and you can comment. If you don't love us, that's fine. You can comment. And you can do that on our text line. That's 641-1010, and it's brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. Love getting input from you each and every night. And I'm going to be here. No Don Lemon here. No Mr. Tucker here. The Ballou Show rolls on.
Cool, calm, and collected. Wait, I thought this was supposed to be about Mike Dempsey.
Let's not get hysterical here, okay?
Mike Dempsey, 10 to noon.
Don't you ever pull anything like that again.
On 1010XL.
Working in the trades industry, going nowhere, sick of dealing with grueling residential install projects and demanding seasonal schedules? Become part of something better. All Weather Contractors wants you to join our multifamily and commercial construction property maintenance team now. Based in Jacksonville, we offer premium pay, bonuses, full benefits, 401k programs, employee stock ownership opportunities, and a culture focused on career advancements and opportunities. Build a better career in the commercial property maintenance industry. Apply online today at allweathercontractors.com.
Hard to believe that 2023 is here. I'm Kevin with Gutter Helmet and Armor Guard Exteriors. The home improvement supply chain has been sketchy at best. Our local manufacturers continue to deliver on time, from gutters to gutter protection, retractable awnings and screens, replacement windows, and glass and ice. Start your home improvement project now and receive 18 months, zero interest, and no money down. But you have to call now, 904-906-8669.
The Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute is now offering online scheduling for new patient appointments for all of their physicians. Simply schedule your appointment on your cell phone, tablet, or desktop. JOI is the first orthopedic practice in North Florida to offer this feature to patients. To schedule your appointment online, visit joi.net and click on the button at the top of the page. If you'll be using insurance, be sure and have your information handy. JOI, where the pros go.
Call Action Transmission Specialist on Merrill Road. We want to win your business with honest and upfront transmission service. I'm Robin Sidbury, the owner. That's a promise from me. Get traction. Call Action at 744-0755.
Hey folks, you ever search why Shark Coatings is the best? Well, one of the many reasons is our polyurea. We don't just buy it from anyone who has it in stock. We custom blend ours, specializing between summer and winter blend, providing you with the best product for our area. After grinding the concrete, that polyurea will form a permanent bond at the molecular level and will not pull away like epoxy. With Shark Coatings, not only will your garage look awesome, but your pool deck, patio, or driveway will too. See how Shark Coatings can make a difference for you. Call, click, or text today.
A big win for the Florida Gators.
Get inside the Gators with the Florida Gator Report.
I'm Taylor Dahl, and I'm your Gator Updater. Listen for the Gator Report several times a week on 1010XL.
Brought to you by Darley's Plumbing, where quality counts.
You don't have to be a football star to get a signing bonus. The team at Republic Services needs your skills, and they're paying up to $5,000 for you to join the roster. You'll be joining a winner. As an essential business, the Republic Services trucks have not stopped rolling with hourly and weekly pay and better benefits and vacation packages than the rest of the league. Driver trainees, $1,000 sign-on bonus. CDL drivers, $3,000. Diesel mechanics, $5,000 bonus. Join the winning team at Republic Services today. Visit republicservices.com.
Equal opportunity employer.
If you want to get into broadcasting, 1010XL is partnering with the Broadcasters and Sportscasters Mentoring Group to offer on-air broadcast training to a select few. Find out how you can be mentored at getintobroadcasting.com. Getintobroadcasting.com.
Mark Watson with Hardball Creative. Youth sports are getting back into full swing, so you know what that means. Custom Yetis so dads can keep their beer or sodas cold. Check them out at hardballcreative.com.
Hardball Creative. Hardball does it all.
Good friends and great memories. Everybody hopes to have a bunch of them. The best way to make more is when you're out for a good time, keep an eye on your friends and make sure everyone gets home safe. Anheuser-Busch reminding you to always drink responsibly.
This 1010XL 92.5 FM hour is powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
All right, A-Rod to run the cesspool and the 5 boroughs. They'll get on his ass quick. They will. I mean, this ain't no Green Bay media. Folks rolling in from, what's it called, Fond du Lac. I actually love, I really do. I'm a big fan of Milwaukee. Not so much Green Bay, but Milwaukee is it's a beer city, man. It's a blue-collar city. What's there not to love? And it's kind of nice out there on the river for about 40 days a year. But he's gone. And with that, it just shows you the incredible amount of panic that is going on with quarterback play in the National Football League. And let's pick that up right now as we talk the NFL draft each and every night, brought to you by Patriot Roofing Services. And, you know, it's a great time right now to make adjustments to your home, including a new roof, repairs. Patriot Roofing Services, specializing in all types of commercial and residential roofing and repairs. Gutters, sun tubes, skylights as well. 10-year workmanship warranty. Financing available. Discounts for military and senior citizens. No subcontractors, licensed and insured. Give Mark a call. 982-4052. 982-4052. Again, commercial and residential. $500 off at the estimate. You mentioned this ad. Let's look at this real quick. After today's trade, and if you want to hop in on this, by all means, 641-1010 on the text line, brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. I have, with Brady on, I have 8, which I will call legitimate franchise quarterbacks, okay? And you can even make a case that 2 is not, because he's one hit away from, unfortunately, his head becoming completely scrambled. And I'm not saying that to be snotty. It's a huge concern. It is. I mean, how many people would you give Tua the going rate? There's no way in hell I would. To me, that just looks like one guy on one team where it's not going to end well. And I believe me, I have zero ill feelings on Tua. I just don't envision it coming out the way that perhaps others do. You look at everyone else on this list, the 7, I think you can make a case that they are going to win a Super Bowl. And 2 already have, in Mahomes and Rodgers. But on the AFC now, you got Mahomes, Burrow, Allen, Herbert, Rodgers, Trevor Lawrence, Lamar Jackson, and Tua. That's 7 in the AFC. Actually, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 8 in the AFC. And I have 1 in the NFC in Jalen Hurts, who last time at this year, if we were to rewind the tape, I still needed to become a believer in Jalen Hurts. But he went out and he proved it. So, you may tell me that Matt Stafford's a franchise quarterback or Derek Carr is a franchise quarterback or Dak Prescott is a franchise quarterback. So, this is a conversation that absolutely is very subjective on my part, and you could disagree. And that's part of the reason why I did it this way. But here's the good and bad, all right? The good is Jacksonville is legitimately in a conversation that only less than 10 teams out of the 32 in this league are. Young quarterback, getting better, an opportunity to win year after year. The bad part of it is the other 8 quarterbacks, 7 are in the same conference as the Jacksonville Jaguars. I mean, you look at it on paper right now, it is a much easier advantage to try to win in the NFC than it is in the AFC. I mean, there are just glorious holes in the NFC at quarterback, and then there are holes in the AFC at quarterback, including the 3 other teams right now in the AFC South, which we will talk more and more about, deservedly so. But, that's my 8. That's my 9. You add anyone to that? Are you cool with those 9?
No, I actually am. I think there's probably a couple guys on there I wouldn't put.
You wouldn't put 2 on there, and I don't think you put Hurts on there. Am I right?
I would probably be forced to put Hurts on there now, but definitely not Tua.
That's fair.
Even with his, even if he didn't have his head injuries, I wouldn't put Tua on there. I think he got put in a perfect spot with those wide receivers. If he was on the Texans right now, they'd win 3 games.
Yeah,
my opinion.
Mm-hmm. So let's slide our attention now to what's going to happen here in 3 nights. And it feels like, once again, it's going to be an incredibly top-heavy quarterback draft. And it's not a surprise to anyone. It also feels like it kind of comes in a year where you can maybe afford not to pick just regular position players because there doesn't appear to be that many very talented football players. Now, only time will tell. We won't be able to figure that out until at least 2 years down the road, but probably 3 or 4 years down the road. I'm sorry, but this thing coming out of Las Vegas with now Will Levis moving up the way that he did to minus 140 doesn't make any sense to me, but it speaks volumes and volumes and volumes as to what is going to happen. This may be the safest bet on the board, okay? To see something explode like this, Vegas, and they're sending out all the feelers that sound like, outside of Bryce Young, this is the safest bet. Vegas doesn't typically throw out smoke screens like that. I mean, somehow, somewhere, they have been told that this is going to happen. And, in fact, it is going to happen. I'm just not convinced it's Houston that's going to be the team who ends up selecting Will Levis. So if it's not him, then who the heck is it going to be? I mean, is Seattle going to move up from 5? There's all the Anthony Richardson talk. You wouldn't think it's going to be a divisional opponent that's going to move up. I mean, wouldn't that be a nightmare with Indy trading with Houston? So I can't see that coming into play. I think some of us forget that, and I haven't put Kyler Murray on this list, but here's a guy now coming off a torn ACL. Here's a guy who got paid, but here's a guy who's been a malcontent. Here's a guy who's been a pain in the ass, which I guess is the same thing. Here's a guy now where all of a sudden Arizona is talking about possibly going out and getting a quarterback, which would be just nuts. To pay Murray the amount of money they paid him. But again, he's not going to play for at least, September, October. I don't know if he can get back halfway through the course of the season or what his overall time frame is going to be. As we know, every injury, particularly an ACL, is different for each and every player, but is Arizona all of a sudden a team that even at 3 would be willing to move up just one spot to get their guy? And if you look at this from Caesars now, this is how dramatically it's changed. Will Levis is minus 140 to the dollar, meaning again, if you are a bettor, if you believe Will Levis is going to go number 2 overall, and he can go to any team, it's not a team identification, it's just the selection of the draft. He's minus 140. You got to lay $140 to win 100. Tyree Wilson, very talented edge rusher, okay, plus 275. All of a sudden, that becomes little risk, pretty decent pocket change in return. You lay down 100, you're getting back 275 plus your 100. And Will Anderson last week at this time was clearly the number 2 guy, plus 400. You lay down 100, you're getting back $400. C.J. Stroud plus 450. Bryce Young 20-1. Now they kind of put that in there to mess with you a little bit. You know, obviously the feeling there would be that somehow someone moved up to 1 or, a month ago, it felt like C.J. Stroud was going to Carolina. I know I heard it. Adam Kaplan and I had a nice conversation about it. Kaplan's like, well, I don't know. You can't believe everything you hear. You can't believe everything you read. I thought it was great when we had him on. Then Anthony Richardson, 25-1. So this 11th hour movement is saying an awful lot to me. I'm just trying to piece it all together.
Why don't you think it's Houston? To me, that's clear. Like, I don't think they would put the odds that heavy before a trade even happened, like assuming another team is going to come in. And why would another team trade up to 2 to get Will Levis? It seems like you don't have to go up that far to get him. I think Houston, that's it. To me, it sounds like a lock. They're taking Will Levis.
Yeah, a lot of people may agree with you there. My reasoning is, well, someone I talk with there quite a bit has been telling me they're going to go defense. But then again,
what do they know?
Exactly. I mean, if someone was to ask me about Jacksonville, and I've done some radio hits, I have consistently said they need to get the best offensive tackle available. But when they ask me who I think they're going to pick,
you're like,
I'm saying they're going to pick the corner.
Yeah.
They're going to pick Branch out of Alabama at number 24.
But my point is, like, I trust the betting websites way before I trust some.
You should.
Guy who's just guessing,
and that's exactly why I'm raising this tonight.
Yeah.
That to have, I mean, in this year, thankfully, I don't feel like we got a late start on the draft. We got a normal start
for
on
a
the
normal
draft,
frame, like
right?
every other team.
Because the Jaguars went, and played some January football. It was so nice where. The 2 years prior to that, I feel like, man, we're already hammering out the draft and around Thanksgiving and stuff. So this year we kind of got to it late, thankfully, because the Jaguars turned their season around and played well. But all the attention that I put into this and my colleagues put into this, to have this turn the way that it did is incredible.
I've always heard that they liked Levis, but that they were willing to trade down, if they could still get Levis later on. Maybe they've realized we can't take that risk, to trade down assuming Levis might still be there later. So, yeah, we always see this happen. Right before the draft, the quarterbacks just go so high. It's crazy, man. Like, they go off the board so high, and everyone always makes a mistake.
Nick Cesario is there. The division has changed where Rand Carthon, the former Gator, is now running Tennessee. Indianapolis, I think a lot of people thought were probably closest, with Chris Ballard and his way of running the front office and what they could possibly be able to do there. But, they've had some headaches at the quarterback position. You're right. What I know here in Jacksonville and what someone I talked to in Houston knows about the Texans is a hell of a lot different than what the folks in Las Vegas know. And it's,
to put, like you said earlier, to put a guy in minus odds.
Right? Minus odds.
Is drastic.
Well, 2 years ago, and again, I'm not afraid to admit when I'm wrong. 2 years ago, when they finally put up that Urban Meyer was going to get fired, I remember I was like, there's no way they're going to fire Urban Meyer. Okay, he's off to a bad start, but they just gave him all this money. They did all this stuff. And it got posted in Vegas. And then all of a sudden the odds started changing where it all of a sudden wasn't that great of a reward as far as your wager, which obviously means, hey, there's a really good chance he's going to get run.
Yeah.
Okay? But they heard about it out there before we heard about it here. And again, I'm not afraid to admit, but I never, for the life of me, thought that Urban Meyer would not last one season in this town. And if you knew it, then, let me bow to you. All the power to you. Because I can count on one, maybe one, possibly two fingers, anyone who thought that he would not survive a year. That is absurd. Of course he's going to survive at least 1 year, and he didn't. So Vegas has always had that about him. And, you can go back to the conspiracies and all that type of stuff and this and that and this and that. It's incredible. It is. They are on to about it all. So right now, my guess is, Will Levis too. Is it Houston, or will someone trade up? All right, on the other side, let's get to the Jaguars. Some new information on them as far as what they're going to do coming up on Thursday night. Again, any of this that you hear, good time for you to get in is right now, 641-1010 on the text line. That is brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures, as there's so much that is happening right now in the NFL. Thank you to Patriot Roofing Services. They specialize in all types of commercial and residential roofing and repairs, gutters, sun tubes, skylights as well. 10-year workmanship warranty. No subcontractors. It's Mark and his team, so call them at 982-4052, licensed and insured. At a new re-roof estimate, you get $500 off. Just mention this ad. Again, give Mark a call, 982-4052. We got a ton to do. We're going to take it till 8 o'clock right here on this Tuesday. Make it Monday night alongside J.J. LaSelva. I am Rick Ballou. This is your home of the Jags.
Play-by-play sports just sounds better on radio. For high school, college, and pro sports play-by-play, turn on 1010XL.
This month, the Key Buick GMC received 3.9% for up to 60 months on Encore GX Envision Enclave, an additional $750 Conquest cash on the Encore GX and Envision. Combine big savings with low APR to fit any budget. We are the only Buick GMC dealership offering a lifetime powertrain warranty on every new Buick. Remember, we are the home of no dealer markups and your service headquarters, fast and convenient. Key Buick GMC, Southside Gate.
Cataracts can take a toll on the quality of a loved one's life. Maybe it's even your parents or someone close to you. Hey, Hicken here. I've been talking to you about Bowden Eye. And it turns out renowned cataract care is right here at Bowden Eye & Associates. Their doctors help those with cataracts feel hopeful, sometimes for the first time in a long time. If someone you love is suffering from cataracts, schedule a visit for a personal consultation. 3 locations to serve you, including the new office on County Road 210 in St. Johns County.
Coming through in the clutch. David Garrard for Clearwater Seamless Gutters. You all know Clearwater installed my sprinklers, but recently John Haney's Clearwater Gutter Division installed beautiful 6-inch seamless gutters for my home in Jacks Beach, and they work great.
Dave, that's awesome to hear. Now jump in. We're fixing to sing.
Clearwater Irrigation. We can't sing a lick, but we sure are good at sprinklers.
And drainage, too.
Slacker Plumbing.
Yeah, hey, listen, I need a plumber over here right now.
Yeah, well, we don't have any openings for about 2 weeks.
2 weeks?
Yep.
I was just changing the shower head, and the water line broke, and it's flooding everywhere.
All right, 1 week.
What if I throw you an extra $100 to come now?
What's the address?
It's 205.
Huh? I guess he changed his mind.
If you've got a leak that can't wait a week, call Roland Reese Plumbing and fix your plumbing problems fast. PlumbingJacksonville.com.
Summer is here, so while you're at the beach or on your bike, Head on down to Sliders Oyster Bar in Neptune Beach, where you'll find the absolute freshest seafood in all of the 904. The biggest shrimp, the saltiest oysters, the freshest fish, all here at our newly renovated restaurant in Neptune Beach. Fresh seafood delivered daily by Safe Harbor, straight from the boat to your plate. Unique oyster specials daily, along with mixed cocktails from the bar. Come enjoy this beach vibe. Sliders Oyster Bar in Neptune Beach, locally owned by Safe Harbor Seafood.
This date in sports history is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On April 24th, 1962, LA Dodgers pitcher Sandy Koufax's second career 18 strikeout game took place in a 10-2 win over the Cubs.
Jumbo Shrimp Baseball, presented by FIS, takes the field this season at 1-to-1 Financial Ballpark as the AAA affiliate of the Miami Marlins. Tickets start at just $5. Fireworks after every Friday home game, and kids run the bases after Sunday games. Call 358-2846 or jackshrimp.com for tickets. Jumbo Shrimp Baseball, affordable family fun.
Let's be real. Mopping is a hassle. You have to fill the bucket, pushing a wet, heavy mop around, then cleaning the mop when you're done so it doesn't grow bacteria. A hassle on top of a hassle. Try Swiffer Wet Jet. With Swiffer Wet Jet, you start with a fresh pad and cleaning solution every time. And when you're done, you just toss the pad. Swiffer Wet Jet. The faster, easier, cleaner way to clean your floors.
Hey, Carline here, and let's talk of getting rid of pain with QC Kinetics. Get lasting relief from joint pain without surgery or drugs. QC Kinetics has clinics in Ponte Vedra and in Mandarin on San Jose. Call 904-274-5522. They've taken it to a whole new level with new medical director, Dr. Peter Atch, a renowned triple board certified doctor with decades of experience. Look, if you're tired of living with pain in your back, hips, shoulders, knees, don't let anyone tell you surgery is your only option. Call QC Kinetics for a free consultation. Call 904-274-5522. Learn how advanced regenerative medicine can get you real relief. Don't go under the knife. Don't deal with downtime. QC Kinetics takes the healing properties from your own body, concentrates them, and puts them into your affected joint to repair and restore the damaged tissue. QC Kinetics, call 904-274-5522.
Jacksonville is a great place to live. And if you love where you live, you should invest in it. That's why more and more people bank with 1-to-1 Financial, Jacksonville's hometown credit union. We invest every penny back into North Florida, backing the very best small businesses, nonprofits, and of course the family home. Why put your money with some big out-of-state bank when you can invest in where you love to live? 1-to-1 Financial. We're your hometown credit union. Sign up today at 1to1fcu.org. Federally insured by NCUA.
This 1010XL 92.5 FM hour is powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
A little bit of a kind of a Bruce or who else? Smith? No, not Smithereens. How about the Ramones? 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's how old bands just crank things up, right? Nowadays, they just know when to start.
Well, nowadays, hip-hop, they do like an entire speech, an opening monologue before and after every single song. I've always said, like, if I was the president of planet Earth, I would ban all anytime you're talking before your song starts, outlawed. Unacceptable. Really? Hate it. Hate it!
On albums or in concerts?
Concert, I'll give you that. That's sort of like your time to give your little spiel, but like, there's nothing worse than and I love Wu-Tang Clan, but damn, they have like some songs that it's like 90-second intros, and it's from like old Japanese movies, samurai movies. It's like, what are we doing here?
I saw Stevie Nicks here a few years ago. She was like 10 minutes in between songs.
Oh my God. Like talking or just taking a break?
No, she was talking.
Oh, damn. About what?
She's like, 76 backstage in L.A. Me and Lindsay were rolling one.
Now, that's cool. If she's
Mick
telling, like,
walked
old
in
stories, yes.
Say, listen, we're going to start you off on let's play Hypnotize, some of that old Bob Welch before he left. And then we'll kind of slide into some of our new stuff off of Tusk, although Tusk came out in 79. But she was talking about everything. I'm like, I know you're old, but damn, let's go. And there's about 20 more songs I want to hear you sing, so 20 more really good ones.
To me, storytelling, although it sucks, it's better than, hey, what's going on in Yemen right now, or like talking about politics, or Live Aid. It's just like, all right, I get it. People are starving.
Yeah, Bruce talks a lot.
Oh, he talks a lot. I'm not a Bruce guy anyways, but that would really grind my gears. It's like, I just paid $2,000 for this ticket. But apparently he does play for, he has, marathon sets.
Yep. There's no doubt about that. Hey, there's 4 Game 4s tonight. 2-1 leaders in all 4 of these series. That includes Toronto back in Tampa, where they're going to drop the puck. We saw something historical over the weekend, for those of you who missed it, but we had a fight between 2 60-goal scorers, Steven Stamkos and Austin Matthews. And it was heated. It was intense. And we've talked about how Toronto was not advanced to the second round of the National Hockey League playoffs since 2004. Of course, Tampa's won rings. They've hoisted Lord Stanley Cup. But that game tonight, and it's dead even, man. It's Toronto 105. I mean, this is as even as you can get on dropping the puck there, which is about 45 minutes away. So look forward to getting home tonight and watching that. Game 4 tonight, Toronto at Tampa. Also, the Devils and the Rangers. New York is so tough right now. They are just physically, I think, the best team in the NFL. And we'll see how that plays out over 2 months' worth of playoffs, where obviously you have to win 16 games. Devils in Gotham tonight at the world's most famous building, right? Is that what they call it? What do they call Madison Square Garden?
The world's most famous...
Not building, but the world's most famous arena, right?
Yes.
Is that it? I think that is it.
World's most famous arena, yeah. By the way, I'm watching the Stamkos fight. The other guy looks
Austin
like
Matthews.
he's never been in a fight in his life.
Bro, he's one of the better players in the league. So isn't Stamkos.
Yeah.
They're not asked to fight.
I got your point on that one, but Stamkos actually looks like he knows what he's doing. He did get a couple cheap shots in at first, but after you get 2 jabs in your face, sort of protect yourself, Matthews. Do something. Instead, he's just taking them. He's like, I can't believe this is actually happening.
In that series with the Florida Panthers and the Boston Bruins, too, you got Matthew Tkachuk, who is maybe the dirtiest hockey player I've seen in the last 20 years.
Who?
Okay? Matt Tkachuk. I mean, he's very good. He'll probably
Is he related to Keith?
He'll be, yes, he's his son. He'll be third in the MVP voting, obviously behind by McDavid, and Pasternak will be 1 and 2. But he got fined $5,000, man. If you see the highlight on what he did to Garnet Hathaway at the end of I think it was the end of the second period, to his kidneys, man. I mean, this could have been that's an unprotected area. And he went in with a cross check and just dropped this guy. I mean, he's Claude Lemieux, Alf Samuelson type of cheap. And then he goes after Linus Ullmark, the goaltender, and Ullmark finally says, let's have it, takes off his equipment, throws his helmet down. They eject Ullmark, and they give a 2-minute minor to Matt Tkachuk. So
I'm watching the video.
Yeah, I mean, that is such a cheap shot. And again, that's the one part of today's game that I no longer like, is that we have 12 forwards and 12 guys who can skate, and it's a finesse style of hockey, and you no longer have any goons on your roster where you can protect the other players. It's really hard to find great hockey players who are also legitimate tough guys. That's hard to do in today's game. Golden Knights at Jets. Man, the Jets came back the other night and tied that up. with about 10 seconds to go and forced an overtime before Bruce Cassidy and Vegas got the victory. That'll be at 9:30. And then the defending Cup champion, Colorado Avalanche, late night at Seattle Kraken. So 4 really good ones again coming up on this Monday night in the National Hockey League. Got a couple of games as well on tap on hardwood tonight. Milwaukee at the Heat. It looks like
Giannis is going to suit up.
Good. He's going to play. Okay. Milwaukee favored by 7.5 on the road. Miami up 2-1 the best of 7. And then late night Vancouver at Los Angeles. LA up 2-1. I often say that Charles Barkley has his own set of rules in broadcasting that he can basically do and say whatever he wants, and he's going to get away with it. You see what he said yesterday?
I didn't.
He said that the Denver-Minnesota game was so damn boring that he flipped over and watched the hockey game on TBS. Now, he was still promoting Turner.
I think I was watching hockey on TBS. I'm not going to lie. But this game is boring. This game is boring as hell.
By the way, it went to overtime. But yeah, 3-0 in the series. I wish we could do like a. I know it's happened once in the ALCS, but I mean, when you get up 3-1, can we call a series over, please?
How many other broadcasters could actually get away with that?
On their own channel.
And to Barkley, it's like, I imagine his blood pressure didn't even go up 1 iota. He's just being honest. He's just calling it the way it is. That was a boring game. The excitement of the National Hockey League is so much better. I'm always going to fight you or fight anyone on that. But, my interest picks up in the NBA the farther we move throughout the month of April and then into May and June. But I don't know.
Celtics will be in the finals. I believe so.
Yeah. I mean, you're getting 60 points a game out of the two, Tatum? They both had 31 yesterday, I want to say.
It's just the rest of the East just is crumbling. Philly, they had a sweep, but they don't look good at all. And then you have Giannis hurt. They're down in the series. I would bet my life they're going to come back and win that series, but they don't look as great as they had in the regular season. So yeah,
Embiid's not 100%.
Yeah, Embiid, and he's flopping all over the place. He's just hasn't had a great series.
So it's a good night tonight for sports fans, both on ice and on the hardwood. One baseball note before we head to the top of the hour break. I got these numbers on the Jags I'm going to begin the 7 o'clock hour with. I found this somewhere, and I didn't go back and double check to make sure that it was correct, but I'll give it to you anyway. Did you see Ohtani beat out?
Oh, I watched it.
The ground ball, the second.
I see. I thought you were talking about his pitching performance.
Okay, no, I mean, a guy of his talent doesn't run out ground balls.
Fast.
It was absolutely electrifying to see how fast he got down the baseline. But I read this today. In Ohtani's last 3 pitching starts, okay, he's recorded more hits as the pitcher/designated hitter 4 than he's allowed on the mound 3.
That's insanity. To be fair, one was against the Royals. It's like a AAA ball club. But, yeah, the guy's amazing. I think he's given up like 3 runs all season, maybe even less. Maybe it's 2. And, yeah, he's hitting like 270 and has 5 homers and just went back-to-back-to-back with Trout last night or yesterday. So much fun, man. Yet stuck with the Angels, who are middling again around 500.
I just want to keep him out of New York. I really do. And
God bless. I hope that doesn't happen, man. He doesn't look good. He wouldn't look good in pinstripes.
He is going to become the highest paid
athlete.
Team athlete.
Yes.
All right. I pulled up the list. Matter of fact, I'll give you a couple of minutes on this on the other side. Let me hit this break, but I did find it recently the highest paid athletes of all time. Okay, career earnings, which includes post earnings. Number one is, that's obvious.
Michael
Jordan, $3.3 billion. Then it's Tiger Woods at $2.5 billion. But noticeably absent on this list. No football players and only one baseball. I'll give you a little bit of that on the other side. But I want to get to these Jaguar numbers. 641-1010, best way for you to join us. That is on our text line. That is brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. Our second hour is coming up right now.
I'm Josh Scobie.
Scobie sweeps the leg, 59 yards away.
On 1010XL.
He's got it. Jacksonville wins.
Rick Ballou for Carlson Dental. I've been telling you this for quite some time because it's true. I hate going to the dentist, or at least I used to hate going to the dentist. I had total anxiety, and then I tried sedation. Light sedation for cleaning and deep sedation as well for cavities and root canals. Folks, it's an incredible experience. So don't be nervous. Don't be scared. Go to carlsondentalgroup.com. That's carlsondentalgroup.com for all of your dental needs.
Jacksonville has some junk, and J-Dog is removing it. They're here to do the dirty work. You don't want to remove and dispose of large furniture or appliances yourself? Call J-Dog. Here now, proudly serving you, removing junk from your home or business. They can even handle small demolition projects, and they're still donating local items to veterans in need. So let J-Dog do the dirty work for you. J-Dog Junk Removal, veteran-owned and operated. JDog.com.
Did you know that all graduates of Local 234's apprenticeship program are licensed journeymen? That means all plumbers, pipe fitters, welders, and HVAC techs will have hundreds of hours of experience and have passed the Jacksonville City Licensed Journeyman exam. They're the best trained and safest skilled tradespeople in the industry. Don't leave yourself exposed to inadequate workmanship or even danger. Always hire a licensed journeyman. Local 234. Make the right connection. Equal opportunity employer.
When you have an orthopedic injury and need a specialist, I highly recommend Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
This is Dr. Kevin Murphy with Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, where athletes are treated like a pro. If you're in need of orthopedic care, call us today. We genuinely appreciate our patients and look forward to helping you. Online at se-ortho.com.
Where everyone is treated like a pro.
Relieve pain and get back to life. SOS. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
The flagship station of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Cheer on your Jacksonville Sharks Sunday, April 30th, 4 o'clock at the ViStar Arena, and see the Sharks smash their in-state rivals, the Orlando Predators. With tickets as low as $15, you can't find this kind of family affordable fun anywhere else. Join us for our exclusive movie night. Strut down the red carpet. Pose for the paparazzi. Shark Tank Sunday, April 30th, 4 o'clock at the ViStar Memorial Arena. For tickets as low as $15, call 904-621-0700 or check out jacksharks.com. Come dressed to impress. Fins up.
Mike Dempsey for Dandy Foods, and happy to report that Dandy has brand new goodies out there, only available at select gate locations. 4 delicious new lunch items to choose from. A hot roast beef and provolone, an Italian combo that'll melt in your mouth, spicy buffalo chicken, or a big old juicy 100% beef cheeseburger. They're all served on fresh ciabatta bread, baked locally and delivered daily, just as you'd expect from the folks that bring you fresh, never frozen goodness.
Got that hometown flavor creeping up on you, yeah.
That little indicator light has been telling you to get an oil change. For how long now? But you're busy, and auto service takes time. So how about hurry on over to a Famous Quick Lube right now? 13 locations open 7 days a week with super fast oil change service while you wait comfortably in your own car, starting at under $30. Now that's Famous. For fast, reliable oil change service at your convenience, visit Famous Quick Lube, servicing every customer like they're famous.
Are you an electrician looking for better pay and benefits? Miller Electric Company has the industry-leading compensation package. Electricians are eligible for a signing bonus up to $1,000. Now, they're partnering with the Jaguars in their new performance facility, the Miller Electric Center. Miller Electric has opportunities for you to work on some of the most exciting projects right here in Jacksonville. Whether you're experienced or not, visit MillerCareers.com, an equal opportunity employer. That's MillerCareers.com.
Hi, this is Dave Barker. Multi-unit hair grafting is now available at IHRS and can give you 3 times more hair in one procedure over a traditional hair transplant.
Multi-unit hair grafting gave me more hair in one procedure and within my budget.
You can grow your hair back with this exclusive new procedure. Call for a free evaluation. Call IHRS 904-777-IHRS 777-IHRS 777-4477.
This 1010XL 92.5 FM hour is powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733. Let's go into the night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
I was talking about that Stevie Nicks show earlier. Chrissy Hime was supposed to play that night as well, but she was sick. Wasn't with the Pretenders, but I was a little disappointed. I never got a chance to see her. Didn't she move away? And she like in Hindu or something? She just,
that's popular.
Yeah, she
with
just like
older,
said, forget about it. I'm
artists.
out of here. You know? But, yeah, getting a lot of feedback on the text line from musicians who are hold their political talk during concerts. It's always a great time to get up and get yourself a spirit. You know? That's why I've always looked at it. And you know, I've never been one of those who subscribes to stick to sports, Ballou, or you're an athlete, you're not allowed to have an opinion on this, or you're a rock star, you're not allowed to say this, or you're allowed to do whatever the hell you want to do. If people don't want to listen, just don't go to the concert or do something else.
I'm seeing she's a vegan. You know, a lot of the basics that you see. Oh, yeah. She follows Vaishnavism, which is a branch of Hinduism, and travels to India once every year to further her studies. That's dedication.
It's got a Q&A. Can you ask if you do that, does it cure back problems for you?
Sure.
That's, thank God for Dr. Michael Shinatri, man. But, I noticed, got mixing around on Saturday, man, and just, man, people are banged up with the back. All right, let me get to this.
They say it's the worst.
What is?
Like injury-wise, is the back. Like it never heals right. It's always something.
Well, what we discovered recently now with my buddy Dr. Michael Shinatri is that I'm so ridiculously tight with my calves and my thighs.
That's what does it.
That does it. See, I've always been one of those who believes that if you have a bad back, it's probably because you're fat, right? And I don't want to get in. I don't want to hear from that nun again and tell me that I was fat shaming. I'm not fat shaming, and that happened like 5 years ago. But you put me in my place, sister, and I thank you. But if I'm one of you, I should be allowed to talk about it, right? You know what I'm saying? So, and he even said that to me. He said, lose 15 pounds, come see me once every couple of weeks, and stick to these exercises you gave me, you'll be good. He gave me these exercises, and they work. But I've always thought it was top-heavy, too much in your kitchen. That's why you got a bad back. Now I'm learning that you can also be incredibly tight in the lower part of your body, and that has an effect on your lower back. So that's what I'm beginning to make adjustments on now. And it's my own damn fault. I'm one of those guys who shows up for my tee time. You know, if my tee time's at 108, I pull in at 104. You know, I never go to the range. I never stretch. I never warm up. And it's my own fault. So I guess I got to start taking better care of myself. Let's look at the Jaguars. I found this, again, very interesting today because it comes from Las Vegas, okay? Las Vegas, for me, knows everything. Las Vegas telling us today that Will Levis is going to be the second player in the draft at minus 140 is scary, okay? They're charging you to collect very little. Will Levis, again, where in the heck did that come from? And Vegas is on to something. They absolutely do know. But I did see this today, and it comes from our good buddy Rafael Esparza, who joins us here on Thursday nights. But they listed it by positions, okay? What is the – all right, let me word this in a way. The lowest odds, the lowest return on your money, therefore the most popular position pick that the Jaguars are expected to make. What do you believe it is?
Defensive end.
It is actually – that is second.
So I guess it's cornerback.
It is corner. Corners plus 150 to the dollar. Now, they did not say defensive end. They just went defensive lineman. So,
well, the good news is none of those odds are very strong.
No.
Like it's sort of a toss-up to them.
Cornerback is plus 150 to the dollar. So you lay down $100, you get back 150. That is the most popular selection. That is what I think Jacksonville is going to do. Okay, it's not what I would do, as you know. I am trying right here. I feel like single-handedly trying to build the wall of Duval, and it's coming with a lot of resistance with that offensive line. But for the Jaguars, it's plus 150 for a corner, it's plus 250 for a defensive lineman, and it's plus 350 for an offensive lineman, and then plus 370 for a tight end. So you have four positions that, really not a great return on your risk. The wild card in all this, quarterback plus 15,000, all right, that's never going to happen. Running back plus 4,500, that's not going to happen either. Safety plus 2,000. And, the whole Brian Branch deal, he's going to be listed as a nickel corner, and he may eventually be a safety. Who knows? But, and then you got wide receiver at plus 1,200. So, anyway, just going back to what we've been talking an awful lot about around here as of late. I mean, to me, this is relatively new. Is someone who does not bet but follows the game and loves the game, loves the spirit of the game, loves the competition of it. I love the pros. I love those who invest all of their time. I remember having a battle recently. It wasn't recent. It was about 15 years ago with someone who's in just the combination of arrogance and ignorance took over when he gave me the obligatory, gambling's all luck. Fantasy football is skill. I had to be held back. I mean, it was like, you've got to be kidding me. That is so stupid. I mean, anyone can just pick a side or pick a team, right? I guess that's the same thing. But no, you're wrong. There's so much that goes into it if you really study it. Okay? It's not just flip a coin. Oh, I like this team. They played 2 in a row on the road. They're playing their 3rd in a row on the road. I think they're going to lose. No. It's absurd. But I have never seen the movement that I'm seeing now pre-draft. This is like a new entity. And I understand that it has been around for some time, but I've never seen the volume and the conversation change about betting on who's going to get selected on Thursday night. It is. I went back and forth today with the Philly Godfather. He had an obligation. But he sent me some of his picks. He's playing like over-unders for how many Big 12 guys are going to go in the first round.
That's just madness.
And I'm like, this is new.
And it gets bigger every single year because more states make it legal. More sports books open up every year. There's more competition for which sports book you want to put your money into. So this one's got their draft odds. The other one has their draft odds, their contests, their props, everything. It just gets bigger and bigger every single year.
Yeah.
I love that prop you just said about how many, Big 12 or specific conference, whatever.
Let me see if I can find that.
I remember when it used to just be like, hey, yeah, you could vote on the draft, or you could bet on the draft, and it was who would go number 1. That's it.
He played the overall Bryce Young minus 125, so it's very little risk. He was 500 to win 400. Actually, I shouldn't give out his totals, but don't hit the dump button. I'm sorry. Let's see here. Big 12 players drafted in the first round. He's taken over 3.5. from the Big 12. Basically even money on that particular selection. There's a couple others here I don't want to get into just because they're never mind. The things that he's doing that not a lot of people are doing, so I just don't want to throw it out there.
And
out of respect.
Because it's become so big.
Because he's connected. Now be swimming with fishies.
Yeah, exactly. Don't bring me into that either. Because it's become so much more popular gambling on the draft and everything like I just said. That's exactly why I trust these sports books when they put the odds at minus 140 for Levis or minus whatever it is for Bryce Young. It's probably like minus 500 now because they know so many more people are betting on the draft now, they can't get caught with their pants down. But it'll really cost them if they know Will Levis is going to go second and still have him at like plus 300 or plus 200. Like, they can't afford to get caught like that because so many people are betting on the draft nowadays.
It's all about timing, okay? And Adam Kaplan and I had a real spirited conversation about this last week. But if you go back 5 or 6 weeks ago, okay, C.J. Stroud was like a done deal to Carolina. And I wish I had the odds at that point, but they were filthy.
He was still never negative odds,
right?
Though.
Okay, but but Bryce Young was,
and now he's heavy.
Bryce Young, you could have gotten a good number on your risk for a real serious reward. Where now you're not getting anything.
Yeah,
we just saw him minus 125.
Probably around the Stroud when Stroud was favored, you probably could have got Bryce at 3-1, 2-1, something like that, which is a pretty hefty return.
And then you get stories that get magnified, like how far is Jalen Carter going to fall? And that picks up, a ton of activity. But then secretly it's like, well, yeah, Will Anderson's going to be the first defensive guy off the board. He's going to go second to Houston. And then for some unexplained reason, that totally turned over the last 4 days to now where Will Levis – you have to give up money to pick Will Levis at number 2. I mean, did you just hear what I said? We've been talking about the draft forever, and Will Levis has been considered
like the fourth
quarterback. The 1 year Baker moved up to number 1 was a real shock, but I don't remember it gambling-wise being that big of a story. Even going back that far ago, I don't. And that's what, 5 years ago, right?
And because
I don't think
betting
gambling
on the draft wasn't even that big. I mean, it existed,
tiny.
But there wasn't like constant hourly updates. There wasn't, 38 states in the union or whatever it is now have it legal. I mean, even back when Baker was drafted, I believe it was probably like maybe just Nevada still. I don't even remember. But it definitely wasn't as big as it is now. And I do remember last year Trayvon being a huge favorite like a week before the draft, maybe a few days before the draft.
But he wasn't a month before.
No, he wasn't.
There's a great – you really could have gotten paid on Trayvon Walker if you saw that happening because that kind of flashed late. And, we'll see what else is going – all this C.J. Stroud stuff, I mean, this poor kid's just getting – destroyed now. Somehow the information got out that, an 18% on the S2 test. And, you see Bryce Young got a 93 on it and Will Levis got and this young man got an 18. It's the lowest ever. And apparently this the Wonderlick's gone. This is a new measuring stick. And it's about being able to process and decision-making, and he tested an 18, which I would think would petrify general managers if you're getting ready to take this guy on as a quarterback. Yet another example of something that is not supposed to get leaked that has conveniently, and this came in late last week, you and I talked about it, but it came out about 7 days before the NFL draft.
And my favorite is the high and mighty Pro Football Talk.
Oh, yeah.
That they report that there's been a leak, but we're not going to report it on our website. Like, why? Just like because it makes one player look dumb?
They're a rumor-filled website.
Exactly.
And then the best part of the C.J. Stroud one is that, okay, he scored an 18. We're going to try to fix that, try to overlook that. But how dare he blow off the Manning Passing Academy? I mean, this is made like, this is like in bold letters.
Being a dumbass is one thing.
It's like, this is the first family of the NFL. This is true.
This is like the Kennedys.
Yes. He did what? He said he'd be there, and he never showed. This was in June of 2022. It's like things he did wrong. Can you imagine? Well, the man didn't show up to the Manning Passing Academy. I mean, I get to see Archie getting all pissed and Peyton being like, I can't believe this guy, man.
He made a phone call to the Texans.
The first family of the NFL. I mean, of course, back when Eli got drafted, people just so conveniently forget that Archie stood up and made a huge deal about how his son wasn't going to San Diego. He forced that Phillip Rivers trade with New York. But it came with almost no criticism because there's something so sacred about the Mannings that people won't criticize.
That was actually, that happened today in 2004, which I actually grabbed audio of that today.
Why don't you want to play for the Chargers?
We're not really giving details right now. We just, we've made our decision, and that's what we're sticking to.
Thank you.
He said we're not really good on defense right now?
No.
Why don't you want to play for the Chargers?
We're not really giving details right now.
We're not giving details.
We've made our decision, and that's what we're sticking to.
And Archie
Who influenced you the most?
It's not really an influence. This is my decision.
Not Dad whatsoever.
I wanted to do this. I was not, told to do this. We talked about it, and I thought it was the best idea, so I went with it.
Blink twice.
Meanwhile, his dad's...
If your dad is standing
his dad's in his
camera.
ear. His dad's got him by the shoulder. He's like... you're not allowed to ask that question of my son.
Great question by Susie Colbert, by the way.
She was very good.
She
was very good.
What was your influence? Like, we know what happened.
But you still have more people criticize John Elway for not going to the Colts or, Bo Jackson for not going to Tampa Bay. And they had other opportunities. John Elway's baseball career really never took off. Of course, Bo Jackson's did. But for some reason, the Manning family is completely swept under the rug. It's almost like if you're in the day of hardcore journalists or hardcore journalism, that if you were to rip a Manning, you would get stripped of your credentials.
As you should be.
To this day, it is pretty incredible to me. All right, let's come back and grab some of your thoughts. Got some good ones coming in here, including weakest position in the draft. I'll begin with that on the other side. If you want to get a hold of us, as always, the best way to do it is on our text line. That number is 641-1010, and that is brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures.
A Baseball Radio?
1976 called. It wants its hairstyle back.
Decide for yourself. Watch 1010XL on YouTube. Search 1010XL Video, all one word, to see shows, podcasts, and more.
Denny Thompson here. Tyson Sound & Security is hiring salespeople right now. If you want to sell new tech security cameras or home automation, Tyson Sound & Security is looking for you. Tyson Sound & Security is hiring for sales positions, and they will train you to be successful. Apply online at TysonSoundAndSecurity.com or call 762-1000. That's 762-1000. Hiring for sales positions right now. Apply online at TysonSoundAndSecurity.com or call 762-1000. Equal opportunity employer.
Malfunctions in your electrical panel can lead to hazards like fire or power outages, leaving your home at risk. So leave it to the pros and Mr. Sparky.
888-8-SPARKY. Your on-time electrician, Mr. Sparky of the First Coast.
Honey, are you using the hot water?
No.
The water's cold again. How can we fix it? Did you just quack like a duck?
Yep. Duck Rooter, your plumbing pros in Northeast Florida. For water heater installation and service, including tankless water heaters, gas, or electric, call for a quote today.
When you're stuck, call a duck. 904-862-6769.
Mark Watson with Hardball Creative. What's better than beer? Cold beer. Put your company logo on a custom koozie. Check them out at hardballcreative.com.
Hardball Creative. Hardball does it all.
Progressive presents
precious moments.
Hey, Jess, want to come for a ride on my motorcycle? You know, we can talk about our feelings and explore our emotional compatibility.
I thought you'd never ask.
The exchange you just heard didn't actually happen, but it could. Bundle your home and other vehicles with Progressive, and you could use the savings to make sure the motorcycle is always ready for your dream girl. So keep the dream alive and the savings coming with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other
This
insurers.
Date in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On April 24th, 1962, LA Dodgers pitcher Sandy Koufax's second career 18 strikeout game took place in a 10-2 win over the Cubs.
Hey, it's Matt Hayes, and I said yes to Yas, Dr. Mitchell Yas, and the Yas method. Now I know, you've probably tried medications, treatments, injections, even surgery. Maybe the reason you're still in pain is because they're treating the wrong thing and not addressing the root causes. Well, I know from personal experience, this does happen. But I found the best-kept secret in pain elimination, Dr. Yas and the Yas method. Call him today, 904-906-YASS, and say yes to Yas.
Hicken here. If you're looking for a winning team to clean your carpets and tile, Zero Res, #1 in the country for customer satisfaction, and they were named Franchise of the Year. No surprise to me, I've had Zero Res clean my home for years, and man, there's nothing better than coming home to a clean house by Zero Res. The smell, the look, it's awesome. Right now, get 2 rooms of carpet cleaning and the staircase for $148. Savings of $30. Remember, folks, Zero Res, spell it forwards or backwards. It's the right way to clean.
Zero Res.
Hey guys, I'm Daniel Heilman from the brand new Fourscore Golf Tavern. We do elevated food, drinks, and golf simulator fun. If you're looking for a delicious meal or maybe a spot for a client, we have lunch specials every day. Need to entertain a few people from out of town? Easy. Just reserve one of our 4 simulator bays. Lunch service starts at 11 a.m. daily. Located in San Marcos Square, we'll see you at lunch at Fourscore Golf Tavern.
Hi, I'm Sean Monahan from Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach. Monahan Jewelers is your local family jeweler for 44 years with a huge selection of GIA-certified diamonds, gold, fine gemstone, and diamond jewelry and designer brands from all over the world. With our interest-free financing, we make it easy to acquire the perfect gift. Monahan Jewelers also specializes in custom jewelry design with thousands of customers all across Jacksonville. Come experience our beautiful selection of fine jewelry at your local family jeweler, Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach.
Instant Keys specializes in replacement of lost, stolen, or broken keys and remotes. Serving the First Coast for over 20 years, Instant Keys provides expert service for nearly every foreign and domestic vehicle, including most luxury models. So don't be intimidated by today's high-tech automotive keys. At Instant Keys, you get dealership-level service at a fraction of the time and cost without the dealership hassle. For honest, professional locksmith service, call Instant Keys today, 722-1111.
This 1010XL 92.5 FM hour is powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Hey, this Deion Sanders story is really, anything but boring. Did you see all the fans that were there in Colorado? And then he had 15 players enter the portal yesterday.
Now, were they pushed to the portal, or did they enter it voluntarily?
No, I know there was some good players, including the top 2 returning wide receivers.
Okay.
Both left. But, I read that he had 23 last week. He had 15. That makes it 38. But I also read another story that said the total was 28. So I guess they don't know for sure who's there and who's gone, and how many of them were actually scholarship players. But, he came in and said hit the portal. So we'll see if that backfires.
I heard a theory from our own Matt Hayes that one of the wide receivers in particular probably used the platform that is the spring game, and it was on ESPN and da-da-da-da, had a good game, and then skipped town. It was like, now I can go get an NIL deal somewhere else.
That's perfect today.
I can't believe ESPN gave them the college game day treatment. I understand, I get it, Deion's there, but it's like, it's still Colorado. Like, when we get into the nitty-gritty part of the season, Maybe not this year, but I'll even give him another year. 2 years from now, in the season of 2024, is Colorado in the top 25?
I'd say no.
So would I.
Rebuild it in 2 years. They were 1-11 last year.
Whoa. I didn't even realize it was that bad. Holy crap.
Yeah.
I thought they were like a 500 team.
Let me check back on that. I want to say they were 1-11. And, obviously USC, UCLA eventually going to leave, so that conference is going to get a little bit easier. But
true.
Colorado is.
Yeah, they were 1-11.
Yeah, it was a bad year, no doubt.
They had one win in overtime against Cal.
They beat Cal. Hey, this as well. Before I get to the Jags, on if in fact it is Bryce Young going number one out of Alabama to Carolina, he would become the 8th quarterback in the last 14 drafts to win the Heisman Trophy and then go number one. Okay, to kind of put this into perspective, the 39 drafts prior to that, only 3 quarterbacks won the Heisman and went number one in the draft. So if you go back to 2010, Sam Bradford won a Heisman, went number one, out of the league. Cam Newton won a Heisman and won an MVP in the NFL, made it to the Super Bowl, but out of the league. Jameis Winston, 2013, top pick. As we know, still a backup in New Orleans. That was in 2015. 2018, Baker Mayfield, yet to another team. He's fighting Trask right now for that starting job down the road in Tampa, and he was the top pick in 2018. Kyler Murray, 2019. ACL tear, not going to be ready for the start of the season. Joe Burrow, so there's your hit. Joe Burrow in 2020. Okay, had that unbelievable year at LSU and is right now arguably the best quarterback in the NFL, not named Patrick Mahomes. Young will become the 8th one if, in fact, that does happen, and it is expected to take place. 2835 says, Ballou, what's the weakest position on the Jags right now? Any shot the Jags go safety corner hybrid in the draft? Well, here's what's really, the way you asked the question, this team can suit up on Friday or Saturday or Sunday, or whatever day they want to play, okay? And that's a good team. I mean, they're rich. I don't know if I use the word rich, even though I just did. They can dress 22 plus. The weakest position right now on the football team for this weekend's game, for me, it would have to be the defensive backfield. And that's probably where they're going to end up going. I'm one of those that is looking forward, however. And I don't think Cam Robinson is here in a year. He's got no guaranteed money after the season. He's got a $26 million cap figure, which is absurd for a average to below average football player. And it's $5 million worth of dead cap money, and I think they'll eat that. Of course, it'll be the final year of the contract as well on the right side for Walker Little. So, that's in a year. But if you play on Sunday, and Trent Baalke told us last week that Cam Robinson's going to be ready to go come training camp. Some people have questioned the way he answered that about how, that he's mentally, that he's physically ready to go. I really didn't look into that. I'm not saying that it was worded improperly. I just, by the way he answered the question, since I was there at the press conference, I didn't take it as cautionary that some have. I just didn't read into it, but it has been brought to my attention a couple of times, and I've also read it a few times as well. So to answer your question, yeah, I would say the defensive backfield, yeah, and you go on here and say safety corner hybrid in the draft. This Brian Branch guy, I was reading more about him today. You realize last year he had 90 tackles for Alabama. He only missed 3 tackles. He had the best percentage for lowest missed tackles in college football for players who had 75 or more. 3.2%. He made 90 of 93 tackles at Alabama. And I think he'd be a very good addition to this football team. I'm gonna stay with the offensive line for the obvious reasons that I just stated. 77, 76 below. I know right now every team is going to be really pass on Richardson. Would be a luxury for the Raiders if they pick him, but if it's the perfect place to get him so he can sit behind Jimmy G. Jimmy G gets hurt, boom, he's in. And there's always a real chance that happens. Okay, Stroud will end someone's Deshaun Watson, the Hendon Hooker, someone. All right. Yeah, I mean, it continues to be a revolving door. I mean, Jimmy Garoppolo, I didn't even mention. We were talking about the good quarterbacks. That man wins. He wins more than most, but he just does not get the credit that others should get. But anyway, that's that. What else did I want to do here before this? You know what? Let me save that for the other side, if you don't mind. You know what? Yeah, let me save that. We'll wrap it up here on the other side because it is going to be a little bit lengthy as far as I do want to get across. But, getting a lot of good stuff in here tonight. Things I didn't get to a little bit earlier. I guess I just kind of got sidetracked and got away from it just a little bit. So maybe we'll dive back to that in just a couple of moments. But, again, the big story is obviously the trade of Aaron Rodgers, and I thought it was a trade that ended up being relatively even on both sides. If you have not heard the terms of the deal, they're basically changing first-round picks, which is 15 and 13. They're changing a 5th and 6th round pick, or it'll be number 170 going over to New York for a 207 coming back over to the Green Bay Packers. The big deal of it all is the 42nd pick in the draft by the Jets, now making that pick's way to Green Bay. So that's basically what it is. It's a second rounder this year, and then next year, and I've seen some people say that the Jets got away with this, and they're going to be the big benefit of this. Others said the Packers did okay. I think Green Bay did okay because he didn't want to play there anymore. And we often get caught up in what a guy has done, what we believe he can still do. Well, he's going to be 40 this year. He didn't want to play there. He threw the entire organization under the bus. We've seen guys do that here, like Yannick Ngakoue, like Jalen Ramsey. When things like that happen, you have to move along. It fractures a locker room. This guy didn't even know names of his wide receivers, and selfishly took that secret little potion that he did that I guess wasn't a cure to COVID or wasn't a cure or was the virus. He's always been an off-the-wall, very entitled, selfish player. So I think you have to look at it this way. This isn't Aaron Rodgers in his prime who's still got 5, 6, 7 years in the tank. Now, Rodgers may play for a few more years. Heck, he's only 2 years removed from winning an MVP.
They also gave up next year's first, though.
Right.
That's
next year's second that can become a first.
If he plays 65% of the snaps,
so
or whatever it is.
That becomes a big deal.
Yeah, that's huge.
So it's basically a second this year.
And probably a first next year.
You better, if you're a New York fan, you better hope it's a first in New York.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because if you're settling on a second next year, that means this thing
been hurt or whatever.
Went completely sideways. All right, when we come back, a few more from you on this, and also an interesting tale of the tape, if you would, on the draft history with Trent Baalke. And I think you can learn from this. I really believe so, because you talk about consistency in a trend for the way that he has gone out and drafted players. This is pretty remarkable. If you look at what Baalke has done, both going back to his days in San Francisco and, well, primarily there. And obviously his very short career right here in Jacksonville. They're getting ready to drop the puck. We're about 5, maybe 6 minutes away tonight in Tampa Bay. My goodness, they do hockey well out there. I got to give them credit. They really do. They get hockey in Tampa. That is a unbelievable scenario to watch a playoff hockey. I've been there many times, not many, but I've been there for 3 or 4 Boston Bruins, Tampa Bay Lightning games, and they're fired up tonight. Not a must-win, but you're down 2-1 in the best of 7. Certainly, Tampa would like to try to be able to even up that series at 2 apiece. The Devils on the board early in New York. Of course, the Rangers up 2-1 in the best of 7 there. About 4 minutes to go in the first period. The Devils 1, your Rangers nothing.
Sometimes you make bad decisions.
Thompson, what's the charge? Disturbing the peace.
And sometimes you make good decisions.
It says here we should work in teams. Who wants to be my spotter?
1010XL. When you want to make a good decision.
Honda has done it again with their all-new exciting SUV and truck lineup for 2023. HRV, Pilot, Passport, Ridgeline trucks, and our popular CRV hybrid. This is without a doubt Honda's most impressive lineup. Visit your local Honda dealer today. We're dealing.
At Andy's Automotive and Truck Services, they know that your company's fleet is more than just a bunch of cars and trucks. It's your livelihood, your reputation, your pride. So when you need routine fleet maintenance or emergency repairs, Andy's offers after-hours and mobile service to minimize your downtime and keep your fleet running like new. While you care for your employees and customers, rest assured Andy's Automotive will take care of your fleet. Visit the team at andysats.com.
Children under 5 die from drowning in Florida more than any other state. Together, we can reduce the risk of drowning. The YMCA has programs accessible to families that teach essential water safety skills. Face the water with confidence. Learn more at watersafetyflorida.org.
This is Hayes Carline for First Florida Credit Union. There's comfort in having real-time financial solutions you can trust. When it comes to your money, count on First Florida Credit Union. When value counts, rely on First Florida for rates and rewards that give you the freedom to enjoy more of what you want. When service counts, depend on First Florida for the conveniences you expect and the personal connection you deserve. First Florida Credit Union. They're enriching people every day. Federally insured by NCUA, Equal Housing Lender.
Hi, Kevin here with Armor Guard Exteriors and Gutter Helmet. It's time to start your springtime projects. Don't wait. Our suppliers are ready to deliver. Gutters, gutter protection, retractable screens and awnings, window replacements, and glass on ice. So let's get started on your home improvement projects now and receive 18 months, 0 interest, and no money down. Call 904-906-8669.
In 1991, we played Boston College. Tommy Mack had like 15 tackles.
19.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's
19.
okay,
Took 4
but
away
it was
from
19. Tom McManus, Friday from 10 to noon on 1010XL. Brought to you by Renewal by Anderson. A better way to a better window.
Hey there, all you sports dads rocking the best dad bod possible. We love seeing you eat tacos by the handful, and we love it when you bring your kids here too. For years, Lucy claimed that her favorite thing on the menu was sopapillas, the big scoop of ice cream. I know that's not a taco, but that never stopped her. I was shooting for Dad of the Year anyway, so I just let it happen. Taco-Lu's a great place to bring the family. There's something for everyone, as long as it starts with a taco. And a margarita for mom is always a good thing. At Taco Lu in Jacksonville Beach.
The IRS has just received $80 billion in funding to hire additional agents for aggressive collections enforcement. If you owe the IRS, now is the time to take action before the IRS comes after you or your business. There's no time to waste. Call J. David Tax Law, a firm right here in Jacksonville, for a no-cost consultation at 904-507-4777. That's 904-507-4777. Or visit jdavidtaxlaw.com. Peace of mind is only a click or phone call away.
Does your home or building need painting? For over 20 years, Performance Painting has had the privilege of preserving many of Jacksonville's most prominent buildings. That said, we feel like we're just getting started. I'm Jason Parker, and our team thrives on preparing, protecting, and preserving the homes, businesses, and public buildings that make up our local landscape. Contact us today to put our years of experience to work for you. Performance Painting. Prepare, protect, preserve.
Performance Painting.
Superior Fence and Rail knows about exceptional customer service. From the first call to the final inspection, Superior's team provides first-class care with great communication, friendly installers, and quality fence products. There's a reason why Superior is the top-rated fence company in Jacksonville. So get off the fence and call Superior Fence and Rail for your new fence today.
When you're on the fence, about a fence, SuperiorFenceandRail.com.
Hey, Carline here, and let's talk of getting rid of pain with QC Kinetics. Get lasting relief from joint pain without surgery or drugs. QC Kinetics has clinics in Ponte Vedra and in Mandarin on San Jose. Call 904-274-5522. They've taken it to a whole new level with new medical director, Dr. Peter Atch, a renowned triple board certified doctor with decades of experience. Look, if you're tired of living with pain in your back, hips, shoulders, knees, don't let anyone tell you surgery is your only option. Call QC Kinetics for a free consultation. Call 904-274-5522. Learn how advanced regenerative medicine can get you real relief. Don't go under the knife. Don't deal with downtime. QC Kinetics takes the healing properties from your own body, concentrates them, and puts them into your affected joint to repair and restore the damaged tissue. QC Kinetics, call 904-274-5522.
This 1010XL 92.5 FM hour is powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
All right, the Icemen are one apiece. They'll play tomorrow night. Series shifts to Greenville. A couple of folks on me about the Icemen. I love it. I love when you get on me about hockey. Very proud of the attendance here in town with the Jacks Icemen. I'd be over there much more, but I'm here. You know, and I also love the NHL, and I'm not going to apologize for it. We're blessed here. Whether you go to the Shrimp or you go to the Icemen, you been to a Sharks game?
I have not. I've been to the other two. I've been to Shrimp, and I've been to Iceman. No Sharks.
Yeah, I've been. It's cool. Great facility. See, we have UFC coming back in June.
Whoa!
Yeah, not the big boys, though. It's the
That'll
level
be
below.
easier for us to get tickets then. Fine with me. So it's a non-pay-per-view.
Yes. Yep.
June.
Actually, late July,
Okay.
like July 28th. Something crazy like that. Hey, let me wrap with this. The book on Trent Baalke. If you don't have a 33-inch length as far as your arms, he's not going to pick you. He's only selected 2 out of 14 pass rush ends in his entire career who had arms shorter than 33 inches. Last year, Trayvon Walker, 35. Trayvon Walker had a wingspan of 85 inches, but his overall arm length is 35. So, you look at some of these guys that have been mentioned around here. Miles Murphy, 33 3/4. Okay, Lucas Van Ness, who I think will be gone, but a 34. Maybe a second-round guy in Will McDonald IV. They liked him. They scouted him at the Senior Bowl, and they have certainly done much more with him since. 34 7/8 as far as his arm length there. Keon White, 34, is another name. A couple of guys, though, that have been mentioned an awful lot around here who do not have long arms. Brian Breezy, 32 and a half. Kid out of Clemson. Nolan Smith, who, I think a lot of people think is a top 15 guy, but we've had our conversations about him. I think he once again falls into the category of a tremendous athlete, but a guy who is not a pure pass rusher. He can do multiple things. His arms, 32 5/8. That's about as close as it can come. The Kalashikansky kid has been getting a lot of pub, depending on where you read it. First round, possibly second, but, somewhere in that neighborhood. 30 and 5/8 is where he is. And, that's it. That is really interesting. I'm trying to, I think it might have been John Shipley who put in the effort on this a while back. I always like to credit those who do the work. But again, it's another way of really evaluating and trying to figure out what this team is going to do. It's pretty amazing that now a big part of not the overall scouting the draft, but trying to figure out what your team is going to do. We're at a point now where you can really study arm length and pass rushers. You know, last year we were talking about the size of hands. Remember Kenny Pickett had the smaller hands coming out of Pittsburgh. He stayed in Pittsburgh. There's so many different ways to evaluate talent in the NFL draft, whether it's good or it's bad. And that's just another one there with Trent Baalke. You know, we did talk about it earlier. He has made 4 trades since he's been here in his 2 years, including last year, moving from 33 up to 27. And to move up just that amount of picks in the first round cost quite a bit. And let me find it for you here once again before we do say goodbye. Let's see. Last year, Devin Lloyd with Tampa, they gave up their 33rd pick to move up to number 27 to get Devin Lloyd. The Bucs received 33rd overall from Jacksonville, 106 overall from Jacksonville, and 180th overall from Jacksonville. So that was 27. Jacksonville's at 24. Look at the asking price. You would be able to get more at 24 than Tampa got at 27 in a normal year. If the man that they absolutely love, and Trent Baalke told us when we met with him last week that he believes 2 or 3 guys are going to be there for the taking at 24. If one of those players is not there, I'm absolutely trading back to, at a minimum, getting the 33rd, 106th, and the 180th. Now, the only bad part of that is that we keep hearing there isn't even 15 first-round grades in this year's draft, so it's probably wishful thinking to go to the normal tablet, if you will, which tells you what every single draft pick is worth and how that table does work. I don't know if that stays true this year because it's not considered as deep as a draft, but it definitely is one that I would consider if in fact that was going to happen. And, you know, you may say, well, another 4th, they already have 2 4ths. Another 6, they already have 3 6. They already have 9 picks. Now all of a sudden you have 11 picks. Okay, but you can also take those picks later and maybe package another 2 or 3 of them. And if there's a guy that you love that's hanging around in the 3rd round or 4th round, or this year Jacksonville does not have a 5th round pick, I don't know how it works. Maybe a couple of those 6th round picks now equal you being able to move up into a 5th round where you get a guy that, you know, you really do covet. So that is what it makes this so incredibly interesting, and it really is going to be one of the better weeks of the year with the NFL draft. Totally different from the last couple of years where, you know, the luxury around here for Jacksonville is that they get an opportunity. We have a penalty shot going on and a stoned Tampa Bay. I can't get who that was.
Almost never happens.
No.
And in the playoffs.
Right. Is it Point who that was? Unfortunately, they're not showing it to me, but the close of the 5-hole. So Tampa Bay with an opportunity, and I didn't see the play as to what happened, but it was Hagel. So obviously something happened in the crease where he was taken down, which instead of a 2-minute minor did lead to a penalty shot, but turned away by Toronto. So we're halfway through the first, and this is a good series between Toronto and Tampa Bay. Again, if you saw that fight the other night between Steven Stamkos and Austin Matthews, 2 60-goal scorers fought, first time in the history of the NHL playoffs that has actually happened. Folks, enjoy all the games. Hackers coming up right now. We'll be with you tomorrow night after Helmets and Heels. The rest of the week, 6 to 8 for JJ. My name is Rick Ballou. Have yourself a great Monday.
Now, Another classic moment in Jags history.
Looking for the win. Scobie sweeps the leg. 59 yards away. He's got it. Jacksonville wins.
1010XM, home of the Jaguars.
Ballou here for Smoonez Vision. Why Smoonez Vision? Well, I've been with Dr. Neil Smoonez now since I got back to Jacksonville in 2006. 37 years of experience he has. Smoonez